Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
Well, here we go. It is Friday. For people watching this thing live, sorry. Fires happen. There was a fire that happened, and so we're starting late. Probably have to go short today.
I think someone actually lit Kevin on fire, and we had to put him out. I mean, there's some forces working behind you.
Someone's going to really think it's a fire. It's not a real fire.
No, it's not a real fire.
And we use this. This is very therapeutic for us, too. We come in here, and if you have not really checked out the ad for the show, a lot of it's really kind of designed to give you a behind-the-scenes of KVJ, so you get a little bit more of us, a little bit more behind the scenes, people listen to the show, people that do the show, all that kind of stuff. And so, so today, after the regular show, there was like an issue that's been kind of going on, kind of like lay it out. I do the sports show now. Just, they came to me, and we were talking about that the other day. They'd come to me a while back because they needed to try to get some local talent on the AM sports station. It was just, dead in the water, wasn't doing much. And they're like, okay, hey, we know you love sports and this and that. And so they're like, well, you want to try it. And so I did the sports thing for about a month.
You love a challenge.
Yeah, I do.
And you love sports.
Right.
And so it's exciting to think about that sort of opportunity to have some fun and help something grow.
Right.
You're a company man.
But it needs to be pretty turnkey for you because you're already very busy. It needs to be, you go and do a sports show, no drama, nothing.
Right, and that was really kind of it. And it's it put me in a situation that I'm not comfortable with, which is I am a control freak, very much so. Because when I do things are done in a way that I can accept. And that's just easier for me. And so I just know that when I relinquish control, a lot of times things are not done to my satisfaction, and it causes me more problems in the long run. So it's better for me to take this approach with stuff.
And he's not being like dicky about it. He's like, actually, when he doesn't do stuff gets done wrong.
Yes.
And then he gets yelled at.
He's a little dick. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, unfortunately, and I have realized, when I first got into this industry, I was like, well, I'm never going to be the least bit dicky. I'm going to be the nicest guy ever. And, it's not that you come at it where you're mean.
No, you've never come at anybody mean.
But you come at it where it's like there are times like this has got to be serious, and I got to be forceful in this, and I can't tiptoe around this in a way that I'm going to protect your feelings. Like, this needs to be said, and we're at a point where it has to be addressed and has to be stated this certain way. And some people, if they're snowflakes, it might burn. And so, I took on the sports show. And big reason, a little bit extra cash, but it also, too, it opened up a door for me that I liked. Wanted to do the sports, the challenge, but also mentoring. I'm a big believer in mentoring, trying to help kids. I work with group Student Aces now. That's kind of like my charity for the sports thing, and it's taking kids and using sports to get them into school and giving them direction and motivation and all that kind of stuff. And that was a big part of it. It would give me a chance to start reaching those lives and having a positive effect, in that community. And so that really, personally was one of the big reasons why I'm like, okay, I want to do that. That opens up that door for me. But with me doing that, it meant taking my eye off the ball for some KVJ stuff. And there was the issue that we had dealt with. There was something a year ago where I was like just saying, guys, this is coming down the pike. There's a problem here. And
it's going to be big.
It needs to be addressed. And one of the issues that I have, here at work is that I send emails and they just go completely ignored. And, that's challenging because you got to keep going back, and then you send another email, and then eventually you got to track somebody down and do it. But, when I'm done with KVJ, I got to sprint to go prep to get ready for the sports show. And then I'm done with that at about 2:30 in the afternoon. And then I've got to go sprint to get ready for KVJ the next day. So, there's just no break in prepping now. So usually at night, I would be dealing with the world of KVJ, all the little ancillary things that are happening, social media and whatnot. And now that I do the sports show, I'm unable to do that. So I've had to relinquish control on more social media, promotional stuff, things like of that nature. And there was the one thing that had happened last week with the beer fest that we had with Matthews. And, I guess this is a good time as any to apologize to some of the people there because I had sent an email. I said, hey, I don't have clarity on this and clarification. You're selling this like you're going to get half-price tickets to Beer Fest if you come out to Matthews between 4 and 6. I just want to make sure that's the case because the Build-A-Bear was happening that week where they had that promotion and they,
people showed up.
Yeah. They weren't prepared.
There was a cap on how many Build-A-Bears they were going to do. But if there's a cap, you got to tell people there's a cap.
Absolutely. You got to be completely upfront and be like, hey, look, if this is it. And, you got to do a situation. I'm like, look, if there's a limited amount, it's got to be like, hey, people need to know that coming out. We've got a chance to have this opportunity or whatever. But I'm like, we're selling it as, hey, for 2 hours straight, you get half-price tickets. I'm like, if this is not right, let me know or whatever. I said, otherwise we're going to have a Build-A-Bear situation.
People will be pissed if you don't deliver on something like that.
And we're the face of that. So we go out and, ain't nobody going to be mad. The people that are in the back offices, they don't know who they are. They're pissed at whoever.
Kevin.
Right.
Who's standing there like an asshole.
Yeah.
With only 20 tickets to sell.
And that's what happened. I walked in there like, we only have 20. And the place is fucking packed. And I'm like, you motherfuckers put me in exactly what I said. I'm in the Build-A-Bear situation. I don't want to be. I'm like, I ain't going down like that.
No. You figure it out. You better get more tickets down here. Did they get more tickets down there?
They opened it up, and there were a couple people because they had me make an announcement as I'm trying to fight with them. And I had the owner on one side being like, hey, will you make an announcement that this is what we got? He wanted me to make it. He's pressuring me to make it. I'm like going, guys, what's going on with this thing? I'm trying to deal with them. They're trying to deal with a printer that's not working.
Oh, my God.
Just all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of like the behind the scenes of what's going on. And I'm trying to have a smiley face and deal with him, the owner, who's a very nice guy and a great guy.
And our guys are telling you we only have 20 tickets.
Yeah.
When you got on the radio and said, come out from 4 to 6, unlimited, half price, Beer Fest tickets.
So we got close to being good, but it wasn't perfect.
People still left.
Yeah, and I through email tried to make good on what we had said we were going to do, and so that was just it. But it was again just I'd sent an email and I said, guys, it went completely ignored, and that's just where it's like frustrating, where you're like, at this point I don't know what to do because the trust factor of Kev not being the control freak is putting Kev in those kind of situations, and that's where it's like something's got to give. Something's got to go, because...
What's the least profitable thing that's sucking all your energy?
Yeah.
Oh, I know, the sports show.
That thing's a cash cow.
We're going to have a real conversation.
Boo.
Yeah, I'm going to have to sit down with those guys. We're going to have a real conversation. I said, look, this was my concern. And I said, I can do this if other people get my back.
They do not have your back.
I said, my back's not being gotten. What I used to have free time for, I don't. And so I'm going to be like going, I don't know what we're going to do because y'all burned me. You told me it was going to be cool and I wouldn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. And guess what? I got to worry about that kind of stuff.
Because it is most definitely not cool.
No.
Well, something like that with the tickets thing, I mean, we can without a doubt have a sit down with management to let them know. I mean, sit down, not through email. Look at them in the face and just say, hey, when this happens, it really makes us look bad. And, Kevin tried to... stop this, and we feel like we're not being heard at all. And then what Kevin feared really did happen. So what can we do?
On top of part of the problem is like it would be nice if you could send the email and have the faith that somebody's like, okay, Kev just sent up the flare. Let's go take care of it.
He brought up a good point.
But what Kev has to do, Kev has to stay on it. Kev has to keep emailing. Kev has to track somebody down the hallway.
And maybe you have 6 or 7 projects like that.
Yes, absolutely.
Going simultaneously.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
So that's just the problem. And herein lies, there's one man, there's 24 hours in a day, and it's just not happening. And so what I had said can't happen is happening. And so here we are.
In a big way.
And this is why we're starting late.
Even you being tired and wasting your time on stuff, the thing that bothers you the most is the same thing that bothers me and Virginia. Listeners left with a bad taste. Even
Thank
if it's
you.
one. We take that seriously.
No doubt.
What we say on the radio needs to come true. And if we say come to Matthews, because there's going to be half-price beer tickets from 4 to 6, there better be half-price Beer Fest tickets from 4 to 6.
And here's the thing. It's a relationship. You got to have a trust factor.
Of course.
So I have to know as I'm selling that I'm going to walk into a situation where what I've been selling with my heart and soul is actually what's going to happen. Because if not, then not only do we burn all the listeners, but I look at it too, I got burnt.
You got burnt.
I got burnt.
The listeners got burnt.
Yeah.
Matthews probably brewing is probably thinking they do not have their act together.
Right.
They got all these people and they got 20 tickets. What the hell?
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. Come on. We've been doing this too fucking long.
Well, and that's just it, and that's why
How
it's like,
long have we been doing this?
yeah.
Kevin told you this was going to happen, and then it happened, and everybody's shocked that it happened. Are you kidding me?
This is what we call a vent session to everyone listening back.
Well, and part of it's, trying to figure it out because, I got to, I got to deal with this like today. And this is like a real conversation where it's like, when I get out of here, I'm going to have to sit down with these guys. I got to say,
So why did you ignore my email, first of all?
Right.
Second of all, how did you not see this coming?
Right.
We are professional people that are in the business of pleasing listeners.
Yeah.
How did you, A, not see it coming, and B, ignore my email?
and it's not like, hey, well, we just didn't see it because I put an email in front of your eyes that said, hey,
I warned you this is going to happen, but I shouldn't have even had to warn you. You should know because this is the business you're in too.
Yeah, right.
If I can see it, Jack, you need to be able to see it.
Well, and that's it. KVJ, we kind of work as our own little unit that is plugged into the radio station, and they're the support people. But it's like, it's any kind of team effort. Everybody's got to be working at the same level, and we have a very high standard with what we want to do from customer service. And it's like everyone has to have that vision, and not only that, but be able to execute it. And
want to execute
right,
it.
yeah.
And understand the relationship between this radio station and its listeners. That should be protected at all costs. Customer should be cared for at all costs. And I think sometimes that vision is lost in radio. Radio gets this attitude like, oh, we're radio. We don't have to bend over backwards to be nice to people. No, yes, you actually do.
I guess my question is, why would they only have 20 tickets available? Obviously, there's going to be
so stupid.
There's going to be way more people. Was that a thing that they were doing because they wanted to try to cut?
I think what it is was they really just didn't even know how big it was going to be.
Well, duh. As soon as we started talking about it.
So I think, what it was is they, didn't sell it for probably as, much as it could and should have been. And
that's not your fault if they devalued their own event.
Right. We have a shit ton of listeners that drink.
And I
yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I expected it was going to be big, but that's why as soon as I got the first hint, because like I said, you can just kind of tell, and social media was telling me with the response, and that's why I'm like going, guys,
this is going to be big.
Yeah, you can kind of smell it, and you're sometimes wrong, but I'm like, it's like seeing those big ass storm clouds rolling in the afternoon. You're like, I think we got a storm coming.
As soon as you said it on the radio, I was like, wait, what? Half price beer tickets
I know.
At Matthews? I'm like, that is a big deal, and people are going to turn out. That's BOGO, baby.
Yeah.
I live for buy one, get one free.
It's good stuff. Yeah. So anyway, so that's just the issue where it's like I think I got to go back to the Kev who's got a little bit of time to run around, flag people down, read through the emails. And that's the other thing too. We were probably 15, 20 correspondence emails deep, and people are, you know how the conversations go. Like, it's not fluid. It's like, what? Okay, hold on. I got to sit here and really read this. And so
digest
well,
it.
There's 3 people on the chain, and it's going on for a while. Then all of a sudden, this new guy, Ralph, comes in somehow.
Yeah.
He's on the chain now.
Yeah. Who's saying what? And then you're like going, oh, crap, I got to get this show ready. Oh, wait, I got that show I got to get ready. So it's just, I just got to sit down and be like, y'all, it ain't going to work, man, because there ain't no backup Kev.
It's exactly what we told you was going to happen if you didn't put it in place so it wouldn't.
My man needs a massage, a drink, and a blow piece.
The first thing that we all need to protect is KVJ.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing is more important than KVJ. Sorry, sports show.
And I want to get Kevin a blowjob. I think it relaxes him.
Well, you're here and you got a mouth.
You'd never allow it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get a little levity here. I know we're all fired.
Sorry.
No. I love it.
I get very mad.
I know we're all fired up. It's all good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's really what it was. So, yeah, today's turned into a little bit of a vent session. I apologize, but like I said, there was...
Oh, it's all right, man.
Down. We started late, and
Dickie Rants, baby. He hadn't come out in a minute. Let's get him back out for a second.
You're right. Yeah, it has. You're right. It has been a little while. So, got to say, what up? Sarah sent us an email. She said, hey, I'd love to do a quick birthday shout out to one of my best friends, Kristen. She's usually with me for the cocktails and karaoke. Happiest birthday to my ride or die, the one who's always down to have a good time.
Kristen!
Thank you for being one of the MVPs in my life. Can't wait to celebrate with you next week at Cocktails and Karaoke.
Yeah.
Very small photo there that maybe if we get close enough, you can see a little bit. So, all good. So, anyway, yes, and we got a very busy weekend going on this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of it, too. Gosh, I've been out the last 2 nights.
My man's barely hanging on.
Yeah, well, that's just it. It's like, hey, you try to do all you can to be there. I don't want to be, oh, woe is me. I'm not looking for it at all. It's just, there's just a lot going on.
Then if you can't get the blow piece, at least you need to at least jerk it tonight.
Yeah.
The blow piece he's getting is if you buy him a blow pop at the convenience store.
He won't eat that. Too many calories.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do they make a diet blow pop?
I don't think they do.
Yeah, and for anybody who might have any confusion or trying to read between the lines, I won't have anybody read between the lines because somebody's like, well, he's not talking about leaving KVJ. No, I'm talking about leaving the sports show. So, yes, complete clarity on that.
KVJ is the thing we protect.
Yes.
Everything else needs to come second.
Right. Yeah. So that's the...
Including our families.
Yeah.
Oh, my children, no.
We had a long discussion with the Queen about that this week, too. Oddly enough.
You like
let's talk about that.
like the lights on?
What did she say? What did you say?
Okay, so we're meeting our head boss, Elizabeth, today because she's like, well, everybody's been so busy, haven't been able to see you. And
coincidentally, when all this bad stuff is coming down, we are meeting her today at 4 p.m.
Probably good timing. But the issue was, and I've told you, I'm like, with the Queen, this has been an interesting week because I've been up later. I've actually seen the Queen twice, so that was the one nice little surprise. But typically, when I wake up for work on Monday, I don't even see my wife until Friday afternoon. And so we're excited to meet each other when she gets off work because I haven't seen her for 5 days.
Right.
And here we are today, and I'm like, I got to hang with my boss. She's like, you told me, like, the one thing. She's like, I'm really getting sick of your fucking job. And she's like, and you're doing what, 6 hours on Saturday? And she's like, where's my fucking weekend? She's like, what kind of marriage do we have where I see you maybe 4 hours a week?
She's got a point.
She's like, is that really where we are now?
And she's told you her top love language is time. And attention.
I know that.
From you.
Yep.
So you are directly defying what...
She said you're breaking your promise. She said, you promised me that I get you on the weekends.
She's right.
Yeah, I hear you. I totally hear you.
I know. And I told her, I'm like, but it's the head boss. And she's like, it's always something, Kev. She's like, it's always, you can't miss this because it's the beer fest and you have to do beer fest. It's Kids World. You can't miss Kids World. She's like, it's just
You
always...
can actually miss Kids World.
Well...
Can we go on record and say that
No,
real
you can't.
quick?
They won't, trust me, they're not all about
Well,
it.
this Kids World coming up Wednesday, I think it's in a couple months. I'm going to be throwing out my back.
Yeah.
Time.
He's going to plan to throw out his back.
It's actually already in Virginia's calendar.
It
Yeah.
is.
He told me to start planning this.
It says it right here. Jason throws out his back.
Yeah, so that was the discussion we had this week about that, so...
It's a challenge, my friend.
Is the Queen coming to Beer Fest?
Yeah,
Okay,
she'll come to that, and that's
okay.
good. But
That's good.
But what she says, and this is the thing, she's like, I'm with you at Beer Fest. She said, but you're in the Hair Club tent at 3. You're hanging with this individual from this time to this time. Then you're doing the cocktails and karaoke tent that they've sold, that you got to go run. You got this, and she says, okay, so that's real quality time, huh? She's like, that's not you and me time.
Unfortunately, though, with the level you want to go, with the beer and with the show and everything, it takes time. It does. And that's always the debate of family time versus the career, and you got to be an animal.
Well, but that's just why at a certain point you have to look and you have to say, okay, look, what is really, because you're right. I mean, trust me, if I just completely laid down, they would devour me. Like I would I'd be doing a midnight gig. I would, honestly, I'm not even fucking joking. Like I'd be like going, sell me. And I would.
I'm laughing because it's true.
Oh yeah. I mean, it would be insane. I'd be on 3 more radio stations.
I'd be on IRK just because I sound country.
Yeah, right.
We would all be milked dry.
And they would immediately fire her because she'd say something very offensive.
Yeah. So, but that's just it where you've got to, and everybody, I think, is dealing with this. This is where we are now as society. And, I think what I do is probably just what everyone else is dealing with, but in a different field, is you got to look through your projects and you've got to say, is this really worth the time?
Prioritize.
And, yes, prioritizing. And yeah, I mean, right now, without a doubt, the freaking nutsack that's hanging down is the sports thing. And it's just like, look, y'all, I mean, this just is.
It's also a waste of time for, I'm not trying to be a dick, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying this, but it's a waste of time for you to be a kids fest or whatever the fuck it's called, or the festival of children,
but they don't,
children of the corn.
But they don't.
Children of the Corn
Yeah.
Fest.
I forget what it was called, but I just
And
like
that's where you
7
got
hours long.
And that's where you just got to. That's where you got to like fight for it and say, look, no, I'm not doing it. What? So what are you gonna do? It's just, and that's where it's like getting to be. But you don't want to be that asshole like that. But if you're not, someone eventually in your life is going to lose out. And, ultimately, you got to put your families first. And so, yeah, there's a lot of people that I'm sure I bruise their feelings and they can't stand me and they hate me, whatever, here in the building. But ultimately in life, it's much better having somebody in one of those cubicles hating on me than having the woman I'm married to and my children that I'm trying to raise at home doing that. So if you got to choose one or the other, who are you going to choose?
Somebody had a good point in here on the chat room, and they said the sports show is not worth ruining your marriage over. KVJ is, but the sports show absolutely not.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, and that's really where we are. So it's like that's the conversation that's got to wrestle somebody down the hall and say, we need to sit down. We need to have a talk.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. You need to hit the reset button, get some
You
things
tried.
straight.
I mean, no one can ever say you didn't really try to be the company man and help out.
Right.
But I think it's time to let Diener and Ricky Bobby know. Spread your wings, birds. It's time to fly.
They're good to go. They'd be fine, but going, you guys don't even need me. Like, you guys can prop it up, and you guys are good on your own.
Ricky Bobby, Diener, and Jay Bird. Still third bill on that show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fill in.
They would take you. You better be joking.
Good thing I have zero desire.
Yeah.
I'm over here doing another show that nobody listens to. It's called The Weird and Whatever.
Well,
You're right.
we're all trying. All right, so we got to bail out here. I got to get some other shit done. So, yeah, the world is on fire, so I must leave and go piss on it.
Oh, man. That's Friday, motherfucker.
It is.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to have a beer. What happened?
Man, we had a lot of tears.
So
no
many
beers.
dramatic things happened. I forgot to have a beer. That's messed up.
Well, we got plenty of chances to make up for that. So that's going to happen this weekend. We'll see you guys out at Beer Fest tomorrow. Suits tonight is going to be at the Carolina Ale House in Boynton Beach. Go check him out. Denny's tomorrow night with Jay Bird at Renegade 7 to 9.
And don't forget, too, at Beer Fest and also at Renegades, we're going to have all of the Beer Fest merchandise, all of your Peace Train shirts for ladies, shirts for men, commemorative glassware, and 100% of the proceeds from those shirts goes to Little Smiles. So you're getting a cool
that's awesome.
shirt. It's high-quality Sasser Salt stuff, too. So the shirts are super soft, and they feel nice on your boobies.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to look cute, and they're going to be 100% going to Little Smiles. So you'll feel great about that.
All right, y'all be good. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems, ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.